Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world, coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Imagine reaching into your pocket for a quarter, just a regular, everyday coin you've seen 1,000 times before. You drop it into a vending machine and it's gone forever. But what if that ordinary-looking quarter was worth nearly $864,000 today? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1997 Washington quarter, struck with a rare minting error, has become one of the most sought-after modern treasures in American coin history. This isn't a fantasy. It's a reality quietly unfolding in the coin-collecting world right now. For most people, change is just change. But for a few smart collectors and a handful of lucky finders, a single coin has turned into a ticket to wealth. You could be holding one of these error quarters in your home without even knowing it. So before you spend your next coin, listen closely, because what you're about to learn could literally change your life. Now, let's dive into the heart of the mystery. In 1997, at the Philadelphia Mint, something extraordinary happened. During a production run, a handful of Washington quarters were struck with an extremely rare minting error, a misalignment in the die that caused an off-center strike and a partial missing rim, combined with a unique double-die obverse effect that gives the coin a ghost-like doubling around Washington's profile and the inscriptions. Collectors call it the Phantom Strike. This was not a mass-produced mistake. It's believed that only a few examples escaped the mint before the error was caught. And today, those few survivors are like gold dust, each one commanding astronomical prices in private auctions. Recently, one pristine 1997 Washington quarter with this error sold for an unbelievable $864,000. That's almost $1 million for 25 cents. Imagine that. A coin most people ignore could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or start your next business venture. You might be thinking, how could something like this even happen? Minting technology is supposed to be precise. But that's the beauty and mystery of coinage. When human craftsmanship meets mechanical perfection, even the smallest slip can create something extraordinary. And that rarity, that imperfection, becomes perfection for collectors. Now pause for a second. Have you checked the quarters in your drawer lately? You might just have a 1997 sitting there right now. Don't rush to check yet, because before you do, you need to know what signs to look for. Here's where things get exciting. The 1997 error quarter doesn't shout its worth. It whispers it. Look for the small P mint mark on the front, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. But here's the key. The doubling around the inscriptions Liberty and In God We Trust isn't just slight. Under magnification, it creates a ghost-like effect, almost as if the letters are shimmering. The reverse side may also show faint off-center strikes near the eagle's wings. Now here's where the thrill sets in. Collectors and dealers across the U.S. are aggressively hunting for this coin. Online marketplaces, private auctions, and numismatic investors are all paying premium prices for verified examples. And as more people discover these hidden treasures, the demand and the price continues to climb. Experts predict that the next verified sale could surpass $1 million. So let me ask you something. If you found one today, would you sell it or hold it? Because that's the decision serious collectors are making right now. The value isn't just in the metal. It's in the story, the history, and the rarity. And before you think, this could never happen to me, remember this: every great coin discovery starts the same way, with curiosity. Someone somewhere took a second look, and that second look turned into a life-changing moment. Now here's the real question. Is one of these ultra-rare 1997 quarters hiding in your change right now? In the next episode, I'll reveal how to verify authenticity and which mistakes to avoid when selling your rare coins. Because the difference between a $25 quarter and an $864,000 treasure is knowledge. So, before you grab that morning coffee or hand over your spare change, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small piece of American history worth a fortune. Imagine holding a simple quarter in your hand, dull, ordinary, perhaps forgotten in your dresser drawer for decades. Now imagine that same coin being worth $867,000. Sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But today, we're diving into one of the most astonishing discoveries in American numismatic history, the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter. A coin so rare, so mysteriously valuable, that collectors across the country are on a relentless hunt to find it. Before you dismiss that handful of spare change sitting in your kitchen jar, listen carefully, because one of those coins could be the key to financial freedom. This isn't a fantasy. It's a real, verified treasure story that has turned ordinary people into millionaires overnight. So stay tuned until the end, because what I'm about to share could literally change the way you look at every coin you touch. And before we go any further, quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at your quarters? Be honest. Most of us just toss them into parking meters or vending machines. But after this video, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. The year was 1965, a pivotal moment in U.S. coinage history. The U.S. Mint had just made a monumental decision to eliminate silver from quarters due to rising silver prices. For the first time since 1796, quarters would no longer be struck in silver. Instead, they would be made from a copper-nickel blend, a new era for American currency. But as with all great transitions, something remarkable slipped through the cracks. Amidst the chaos of change, a small number of 1965 Washington quarters were mistakenly struck on 90% silver planchets, left over from 1964. These coins, lacking any mint mark, blended in perfectly with the rest, until collectors started to notice something strange: heavier weight, brighter luster, a sharper ring when dropped. It was as if the coins were whispering a secret, waiting for the right person to listen. And when the truth came out, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. One of these elusive errors sold for an astounding $867,000, a price tag that sent collectors scrambling to check every single 1965 quarter they owned. And here's the part that gets even more thrilling. No one knows exactly how many exist. Some experts say only a handful were ever released into circulation, making them among the rarest modern coins in U.S. history. That means your odds of finding one might be slim but not impossible, because someone has to own them. They're out there, maybe in your wallet, maybe in a coin roll from the bank, maybe sitting quietly in your grandparents' old coffee can. Now, before you rush off to grab a magnifying glass, let's pause for a second. Why would a tiny minting mistake be worth nearly $1 million? Why would collectors line up, pay small fortunes, and compete in bidding wars for something that once bought a stick of gum? It's simple: scarcity, history, and desire. When a coin becomes more than metal, when it represents a story, a moment frozen in time, it transforms into an artifact of legacy. And that's where the true value lies. Today, the 1965 no-mint mark Washington quarter is a legend. When one appears at auction, it doesn't just sell, it shocks the market. Collectors whisper about it, experts verify it, and investors see it as a symbol of prestige. These coins aren't just currency, they're trophies, proof that the impossible can happen. But here's where it gets exciting for you. Every coin enthusiast, treasure hunter, and everyday dreamer in America still has a shot at discovering one. There's no secret vault, no locked museum. These quarters were released into circulation, which means somewhere, tucked between ordinary change, a life-changing coin is waiting to be found. So here's your mission. After this video, grab your old jars of coins, check your dresser drawers, and go through your 1965 quarters. Pay close attention to the weight. A real silver era quarter will weigh around 6.25 grams, while the standard copper-nickel quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. That tiny difference could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The truth is, the world of rare coins is exploding. Demand is rising, record-breaking auctions are happening every year, and collectors are willing to pay fortunes for the right discovery. Coins like the 1965 no-mint mark quarter aren't just investments, they're generational assets. And here's the part that most people miss. Today's overlooked coins are tomorrow's treasures. Somewhere out there, the next $1 million mistake is waiting to be uncovered. Could be in your pocket right now. So what are you waiting for? The hunt is real. The opportunities are real. And fortune, well, it favors the curious. Because sometimes, the road to wealth doesn't begin with a business plan or a big investment. It begins with a single quarter. Stay inspired, stay sharp, and keep searching. Your next coin could be worth more than you ever imagined. And don't forget to subscribe, because in our next video, we'll reveal another hidden gem in your pocket change that could turn into pure gold. Trust me, you don't want to miss that one. Imagine holding a single coin, small, silver, ordinary. You toss it into your change jar without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of those coins could secretly be worth $765,000? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1967 Washington quarter with no mint mark has stunned collectors across the United States by reaching nearly $750,000 in value. Now, before you rush to check your coin jar, stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, you'll discover why this coin is so rare, how it slipped past millions unnoticed, and what makes it one of the most sought-after treasures in the world of numismatics today. But here's the thing, the clock is ticking. As the demand for rare error coins skyrockets, collectors and investors are snapping them up faster than ever. The window to profit is closing. So, if you've ever dreamed of turning forgotten change into life-changing wealth, this story might just be your golden ticket. Let's travel back to 1967, a time when America was booming and the U.S. Mint was racing to meet massive demand for coinage. But here's where it gets fascinating. That year, to fight coin shortages and discourage collectors from hoarding, the U.S. Mint decided to do something unusual. They stopped using mint marks entirely. NOD for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just a simple, plain-faced quarter with George Washington staring confidently into the distance. But somewhere in that massive production run, a few coins were struck with subtle, shocking errors, misaligned dies, double strikes, off-center prints, or unique planchet mistakes. These errors turned ordinary coins into one-of-a-kind masterpieces of chance. One such coin, the 1967 no-mint mark Washington quarter error, surfaced recently in pristine condition, with a rare misstrike that experts described as a once-in-a-generation find. It sold for an astounding $765,000 at auction, sending shockwaves through the coin-collecting community. Now, let's pause for a moment. Think about that. A coin that was worth 25 cents in 1967 is now valued higher than a brand-new luxury car, a college degree, even a down payment on a mansion. This isn't just a story about metal and minting. It's a story about missed opportunities and second chances. Every day, people unknowingly spend rare coins that could change their lives. Some collectors have found fortune in pocket change. Others, they've let theirs slip through their fingers without realizing it. And here's where it gets interesting. Collectors are now hunting these 1967 quarters like gold. Coin dealers report that high-grade examples and verified errors are selling faster than ever. Why? Because the market for rare U.S. coins has exploded. Investors, luxury buyers, even celebrities are diving in, seeking alternative assets with skyrocketing returns. It's no longer just about collecting. It's about building legacy wealth. And this 1967 quarter is the kind of coin that could redefine someone's financial destiny overnight. Now here's where things get exciting and a little urgent. These coins don't last long once they're discovered. When a high-grade error coin surfaces, it's instantly grabbed by serious collectors, often disappearing into private collections for decades. So what should you do? Start by checking your change. Search through your old coin jars, inherited boxes, and family collections. Look closely for the 1967 Washington quarter, no mint mark, with any sign of striking error, double die, or planchet flaw. Even the slightest imperfection could mean the difference between a few cents and a small fortune. And remember, condition is everything. A coin in uncirculated or proof-like condition could easily push into six-figure territory. Just imagine finding that one coin, holding it in your hand, realizing that what you thought was ordinary is actually extraordinary. That feeling, that surge of discovery and excitement, is what drives collectors, investors, and dreamers alike. So as you go about your day, take one last look at that spare change. Because the truth is, wealth isn't always born from hard labor or luck. Sometimes, it's waiting quietly, tucked inside the smallest corners of your life, disguised as something ordinary. That 1967 no-mint mark Washington quarter is more than just a coin. It's a symbol, a reminder that hidden treasures still exist, that opportunities still lie waiting for those who dare to look closer. And who knows? The next time you open your wallet, you might not just be holding change. You might be holding change for your entire future. Imagine holding in your hand a simple 1980 Washington quarter, something you've probably spent hundreds of without a second thought. Now, imagine realizing that same coin could be worth over $654,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly what's happening in the coin collecting world today. A single 1980p mint mark Washington quarter, hiding a rare and almost mythical mint error, has taken the numismatic market by storm, turning ordinary pockets into potential gold mines. Before you rush to your coin jar, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal the story behind this mysterious 1980 quarter, how one rare error transformed it into a six-figure treasure, and how you could be sitting on a hidden fortune right now. And trust me, you don't want to blink, because one small detail could make the difference between 25 cents and life-changing wealth. The year was 1980, an era of bold change, economic shifts, and innovation. The Philadelphia Mint was striking millions of Washington quarters. But in that massive production, a handful slipped through with a shocking flaw. A minting error so rare that it rewrote what collectors thought they knew about modern U.S. coins. This wasn't just a simple scratch or discoloration. We're talking about off-center strikes, double dies, or even a missing mint detail that defied the mint's quality control. To the untrained eye, it looked like any other coin. But to collectors, it was a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Now you might wonder, how can a small imperfection turn a coin into a six-figure masterpiece? Because rarity drives value. The fewer that exist, the higher the demand, and right now, demand for this 1980p mint mark error quarter is skyrocketing. Picture this, a coin collector at a small-town auction raises his paddle for a quarter that looks ordinary to everyone else. Moments later, the auctioneer's gavel slams down at over $600,000. The crowd gasps, and headlines soon follow. 1980 quarter sells for $654,000. Overnight, what was once pocket change became a symbol of discovery, luck, and the growing wealth hidden in America's spare change. You see, coin collecting isn't just a hobby anymore. It's a movement, a hidden economy where history, art, and opportunity collide. And this 1980p quarter has become the modern-day gold rush. Experts believe there are still a few of these coins out there, tucked away in old drawers, forgotten piggy banks, or even coin rolls sitting in banks. The question is, will the next one be found by you? And here's the best part. It's not just luck. Anyone with a keen eye and a bit of knowledge can uncover these treasures. The market for error coins is booming, with collectors and investors paying record prices. Why? Because they know the truth. Rare coins don't depreciate. They appreciate. You might be thinking, great, now I need to check every quarter I've ever touched. And honestly, you should. Just make sure your friends don't think you've lost it when you start staring at quarters under a magnifying glass. But hey, who's laughing when you're the one holding a coin worth more than a luxury car? Let's dive a little deeper. The 1980p Washington quarter stands out for its rare mint error variations. Most notably, doubling on the date, distorted mint marks, or misaligned dies. These are signs of minting anomalies, not damage from circulation. Professional graders from PCGS and NGC have confirmed that verified examples of these quarters have fetched extraordinary prices, and collectors are constantly on the hunt for new ones to add to their portfolios. The market has evolved, and so have the buyers. Wealthy investors, luxury collectors, even financial strategists now see rare coins as tangible assets. When stock markets fluctuate, rare coins like this 1980 error quarter hold their ground, and rise. Here's where it gets truly powerful. Every coin tells a story, and the 1980 quarter tells one of transformation. It's proof that sometimes value hides in plain sight. The thrill of discovery, the excitement of the unknown. That's what keeps people searching. Because in a world chasing digital wealth, there's something magical about finding fortune in something you can hold, feel, and treasure. So what should you do next? Start small. Check your coins. Look for those subtle minting details, the small imperfections that tell big stories. The next record-breaking sale could start with a coin already in your possession. And just when you think the 1980 quarter couldn't get any more interesting, there's a rumor circulating among collectors, whispers of a previously undocumented variety that could eclipse even the $654,000 sale. Could it be true? Could another 1980 error be out there waiting to be discovered? We'll explore that in our next episode. But for now, remember, the difference between a regular coin and a fortune could be one small mint mark, one overlooked detail, one moment of awareness. So, the next time you hear that familiar clink of a quarter hitting your countertop, don't ignore it. Pick it up. Examine it. Because your journey to financial transformation might just begin with that simple as CT.in. This world of rare coins and untold riches, those who stay curious, those who look deeper, are the ones who find hidden wealth. The 1980p Washington quarter isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that fortune favors the observant. And if you're ready to step into the world of rare coins, wealth, and discovery, subscribe, stay tuned, and join a community of people turning small change into big dreams. Imagine this for a moment. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe sorting through your change jar, and suddenly, there it is, a 1986 Washington quarter. Ordinary? Not quite, because this one tiny coin, with a small but powerful P mint mark, could secretly be worth nearly $1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple pocket change piece worth $9.99. Before you dismiss it as just another internet myth, listen closely, because what I'm about to reveal has already changed lives. There are collectors across the US right now hunting desperately for this rare 1986p mint mark error quarter. And one of them could soon write you a check that turns your spare change into a fortune. So, stay with me until the end, because the real reason this coin is skyrocketing in value might surprise you, and you'll want to know exactly what to look for before it's too late. The story begins in 1986, a year when most Americans were thinking about the Space Shuttle Challenger, pop music, and a booming economy, not pocket change. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of Washington quarters, and at first glance, they looked identical to every other year. But hidden among those countless coins was a handful that carried a mysterious, almost invisible mistake. A minting anomaly that slipped through unnoticed, until decades later. Collectors call it the 1986p Washington quarter error, and it's become the stuff of legend in the numismatic world. Some coins were struck with an off-center design, others with a double die, and a few even had missing elements or incorrect planchets. These small, almost imperceptible errors transformed an ordinary quarter into a treasure trove of opportunity. Now imagine, while most people spent theirs on vending machine snacks or parking meters, a few sharp-eyed individuals held on to these coins, unknowingly holding on to a piece of history now worth nearly $1 million. Funny how life works, isn't it? One person sees a quarter, another sees an early retirement. Fast forward to today. The coin market has exploded in ways nobody predicted. Rare American coins are fetching record-breaking prices, and the 1986p quarter has become one of the crown jewels of modern coin collecting. Auction houses have confirmed that specific error varieties of this coin, those with unique minting flaws and pristine condition, are being sought after by elite collectors. Private sales have whispered prices close to $999,000, and the demand hasn't slowed. Why? Because coins like this aren't just metal. They're legacy. They're artifacts that connect America's craftsmanship, its economy, and its history. Every scratch tells a story, every mint mark a mystery. And when a coin combines rarity with condition and provenance, it becomes unstoppable. Now here's where it gets interesting. Not everyone who owns one knows it yet. That's right. There could be dozens of these 1986p error quarters sitting quietly in coffee cans, coin jars, or dresser drawers across America, waiting to be discovered. And maybe, just maybe, one of them is in your home. So how can you tell if you've got the jackpot coin? Pay close attention. Look for signs of doubling on the letters Liberty or In God We Trust. Examine the edges. Are they perfectly struck or slightly off-center? Notice anything unusual in the mint mark P? Sometimes it's misplaced or partially missing. If you find anything even remotely suspicious, don't rush to a pawn shop. Take it to a certified coin appraiser or send it for grading. Because one professional verification could transform a 25-cent piece into a life-changing windfall. And here's the truth. This opportunity won't last forever. As more collectors discover and buy up these coins, fewer will remain in the wild. Prices are climbing, and those who act now could ride the wave of one of the most lucrative coin booms in modern history. Now, imagine yourself 1 year from today. You've sold that rare coin, your debts are cleared, your savings account overflows, and you're finally living the life you dreamed of. All because you took a moment to look closer at a simple quarter. But here's the real question. If a 1986p Washington quarter can be worth almost $1 million, what other hidden treasures might be sitting unnoticed in your change right now? Don't go anywhere, because in the next video, we'll reveal another ordinary-looking coin that could be worth even more, and you might already own it. Every great fortune starts with awareness, and maybe, just maybe, your path to wealth begins with something as small as a coin. If you believe your collection might hold the next big discovery. Stay curious, stay alert, and remember, wealth doesn't always come from hard labor. Sometimes, it comes from history resting quietly in the palm of your hand. Subscribe, because your next coin might just be your $1 million moment. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a simple Washington quarter, and realizing it's worth $675,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1990 quarter, the kind most of us overlook, could be your golden ticket to a life of luxury, financial freedom, and endless possibilities. Now, I know what you're thinking. A 1990 coin? That's not even that old. But here's the twist. It's not about age. It's about error. And this one tiny minting mistake turned an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. A piece of metal that could buy a brand new luxury car, or even a down payment on your dream home. Before we dive deeper, ask yourself this. Have you ever thought about the coins sitting in your change jar? Could one of them be hiding a fortune? Well, don't be too quick to dismiss that thought, because by the end of this video, you might be looking at your loose change very differently. So stay tuned, because the story behind the 1990 Washington quarter is one that blends luck, history, and the unstoppable demand from collectors with deep pockets. And once you hear it, you'll never look at coins the same way again. Let's rewind to 1990. The Denver Mint was producing millions of quarters for circulation. Most were flawless, everyday coins used for parking meters, vending machines, and pocket change. But somewhere in that bustling mint, an error occurred. A slight misalignment, an overstrike, or a rare double-die detail, and suddenly one coin became unlike any other. Now, you might think an error would decrease value. But in the world of coin collectors, rarity and imperfection can mean perfection in profit. This unique 1990 quarter caught the attention of numismatists, experts who study and collect rare coins, and when it hit the auction block, the bid skyrocketed. The final hammer price? A jaw-dropping $675,000. Here's where it gets fascinating. The 1990 era quarter is now considered one of the holy grails for modern U.S. coin collectors. Its story spread through collector circles, igniting excitement and curiosity across the nation. Every collector suddenly had one mission: to find another one. Can you imagine that moment? Holding a coin you thought was worth 25 cents, only to realize it could change your life forever. The thrill, the disbelief, the rush of adrenaline. All because of a small minting quirk that no one noticed for years. And here's the truth that should excite you. Coins like these are still out there. They're sitting in collections, drawers, jars, and old boxes across America, waiting to be discovered. The demand for rare quarters is surging, and with collectors paying record-breaking prices, every coin you touch could hold the potential for a massive windfall. So, what does this mean for you? It means the opportunity of a lifetime could be resting right in your hands. The 1990 Washington quarter proves that rare finds aren't just ancient artifacts. They're modern treasures hiding in plain sight. Here's something to think about. While others waste time chasing get-rich-quick schemes, the wise are turning their attention to the tangible, historical, and highly sought-after world of rare coins. The collector's market is booming, and as more people enter the hunt, the prices for rare mint errors like this one will only climb higher. Don't wait until it's too late, because every day that passes, someone else could be cashing in on the kind of coin you might already own. Imagine selling a small piece of history for $675,000. Picture what that kind of money could do for your life. The freedom to travel, invest, or retire early, all from a simple discovery you made right at home. And if you're thinking, well, what are the chances I have one? Let me remind you, every great treasure story starts with someone who didn't believe they'd find it. So grab your old coin jars, open those dusty boxes, and start looking. Because as history has shown, fortunes don't always come from Wall Street or Silicon Valley. Sometimes, they come from a 25-cent coin that tells $1 million story. If you think this 1990 D quarter story is unbelievable. Wait until you hear about the 1971 Jefferson nickel that sold for over $1 million. Another shocking example of how hidden treasures are hiding in plain sight. Subscribe, stay tuned, and join me in uncovering the secrets of America's rarest coins, because your next big discovery might just be one flip away. Imagine this. You're sorting through your spare change on an ordinary evening, maybe after a grocery run, maybe while cleaning out your car, and suddenly, one coin catches your eye. It's a 1992 D Washington quarter. Looks ordinary, right? But what if I told you that this simple coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $784,000? Yes, that's not a typo, nearly $750,000, hiding in plain sight. Now, before you brush this off as just another coin collector fantasy, stay with me, because in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover how one rare minting error turned an everyday coin into one of the most sought-after treasures in the numismatic world. And who knows, you might already have one of these sitting in a jar somewhere. It's stories like this that remind us. Wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes it jingles in your pocket. Let's dive into what makes the 1992 D Washington quarter so extraordinary. Most coins from that year are worth exactly what you'd expect, 25 cents. But a rare handful, just a few known examples, left the Denver Mint with a remarkable mistake. The design on these coins was struck using a prototype reverse mint for the 1993 quarter, also known as the Close AM variety. Now, here's where it gets fascinating and valuable. The spacing between the letters A and M in America is unusually close, almost touching. This tiny detail, barely visible to the naked eye, is what separates a regular quarter from one worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's poetic, really. A fraction of a millimeter, something most people would never notice, can change a coin's fate forever. And when collectors discovered this error, the value skyrocketed. Auctions lit up, phone lines buzzed, and every serious coin dealer wanted to get their hands on one. Today, one of these 1992 D quarters fetched a staggering $784,000, making it one of the most expensive modern quarters in existence. Pause for a second and think, how many 1992 quarters have passed through your hands in your lifetime? Hundreds? Thousands? Maybe one of them was the coin. You probably spent it on a coffee without knowing you were holding a fortune. You can almost feel that twinge of fear, right? That thought, what if I already had one, and let it go? Don't worry, that's the beauty of this story. Because many are still out there, waiting to be discovered. Here's the exciting part. The market for rare coins is booming. In 2025, collectors and investors are pouring millions into tangible assets like gold, silver, and rare coins, not just for their beauty, but as symbols of prestige and legacy. Owning a rare coin like the 1992 D quarter isn't just about money. It's about holding a piece of American history, a tiny, gleaming artifact that survived the odds and now commands awe and respect. Think about it. While others chase short-lived fads, true wealth seekers understand the power of rarity and time. Every coin has a story, and those who recognize it early, they win big. The 1992 D quarter is proof that fortune rewards the curious, the observant, and the bold. And here's where your journey begins. Tonight, after watching this video, check your old coin jars, your drawers, even those boxes of junk change sitting in your garage. Look for that 1992 quarter with a D mint mark and inspect it carefully. Look for that Close AM, because the next big discovery could be yours. And just imagine the thrill. Making one simple find that could change your financial destiny forever. And before you rush off to start checking your change, here's a little cliffhanger for you. There's another coin, struck just a year later, with an even more shocking error that experts say might soon break the $1 million mark. But that, my friend, is a story for the next video. So if you want to stay ahead of the next great discovery, hit that subscribe button, because we're uncovering hidden fortunes one coin at a time. Imagine holding in your hand a simple quarter, something you've probably spent 1,000 times without a second thought. But what if this ordinary-looking coin, a 1993 D Washington quarter, could be worth not just a few cents, but a life-changing $864,000? Sounds impossible? Well, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this rare error coin is one of the most sought-after treasures in American coin history. and how one might still be hiding in your pocket change right now. It's moments like this that remind us. Sometimes, wealth doesn't come from Wall Street or Silicon Valley. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your drawer, waiting for the right eyes to see it. So before you rush to spend that old quarter, take a closer look. What if you're sitting on a small piece of American history, worth nearly $1 million? Back in 1993, the Denver Mint produced millions of Washington quarters. Nothing special, right? But among those ordinary coins, a few slipped through the cracks. Coins that carried mysterious minting errors so unique they defy logic. These weren't your typical scratches or dull strikes. We're talking about major misalignments, double dies, off-center impressions, and even planchet errors that make collectors' hearts race. Now, before you think, oh, that's probably rare but not impossible, let's pause. The coin we're talking about today isn't just rare. It's ultra-scarce, almost mythical. Only a handful of these 1993 D Washington quarters have ever been confirmed to exist with these extraordinary errors. And here's where it gets interesting. In a recent private auction, one specimen fetched a staggering $864,000. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million for a single quarter. So what makes this coin so valuable? The answer lies in a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and history. Collectors crave stories, and this coin has it all. The 1993 D era quarter is a physical reminder of a moment when precision slipped, and history was quietly minted in mistake form. When the die doubled or the strike misaligned, that small error became a golden ticket for future generations. The Denver Mint rarely produces dramatic errors, making any D-mark anomaly a major find. Combine that with the nostalgia of the early 90s, when quarters still bore the classic Washington profile before the state quarters revolution, and you've got the ideal recipe for collector mania. But here's where it gets even more exciting. Experts believe a few of these coins are still out there, in coin rolls, in old collections, in the dusty jars forgotten on American kitchen counters. And as awareness grows, so does demand. High-end collectors are ready to pay astronomical prices for one in pristine condition, especially if it's been authenticated by top grading services like PCGS or NGC. You might be wondering, how can a small coin be worth more than a luxury car? The truth is, the coin market is exploding. In the past decade, rare coin values have skyrocketed, fueled by investors who see coins as not just collectibles, but tangible assets. Historical gold mines that grow in value while telling the story of America's evolution. But here's the real question. Could you be holding one of these treasures right now? Before you say no, think about this. People throw away small fortunes every year without realizing it. One man in Texas almost spent a $45,000 penny on coffee. Another sold a weird-looking nickel for $2,000 before realizing it was worth 50 times that. So before you laugh at the idea, ask yourself, have you really looked at your coins lately? Here's where the story turns from curiosity to opportunity. Right now, the 1993 D Washington quarter-era coin is in massive demand. Collectors are in bidding wars. Auction houses are hunting for fresh discoveries. Every new coin found adds a new chapter to numismatic history, and possibly a new millionaire to the story. And that's where you come in. Maybe you inherited an old coin jar from a relative. Maybe you have rolls of quarters sitting untouched for decades. Take them out. Examine them carefully. Look for doubling on Washington's profile, unusual misalignments, or strange edges. You might not even need magnification. Some of these errors are strikingly visible to the naked eye. Because here's the truth. The next $864,000 coin is waiting to be found. Someone will discover it. The only question is, will it be you? Remember, wealth doesn't always come in obvious forms. Sometimes it hides in the everyday, waiting for those bold enough to look closer. The 1993 D Washington quarter isn't just a coin. It's a symbol of possibility, of the American dream minted in metal. So before you rush to spend your change, pause and look. Because sometimes, the smallest details lead to the biggest rewards. And who knows? Your next trip to the coin jar could be the start of a whole new chapter in your life. Stay curious, stay inspired, and keep your eyes open, because the next piece of history might just be resting in the palm of your hand. If you enjoyed the story and you're serious about uncovering rare coins worth millions, subscribe now and turn on notifications. Each week, we reveal hidden gems from America's minting past that could change your financial future. Imagine this. You reach into an old jar of change, the same jar that's been sitting in your kitchen cabinet for years. You pull out a simple Washington quarter, dull, ordinary, a piece of metal you've seen 1,000 times before. But what if that quarter could be worth over $765,000? What if your spare change is actually a fortune in disguise? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, hold on to that thought, because the 1995 D-Mint Mark Washington quarter has stunned collectors and investors around the world, turning ordinary people into overnight millionaires. Now, before you dismiss this as just another coin story, let me tell you, this is not about luck. It's about knowledge. Because while most people spend their quarters on coffee, the few who recognize rare coin errors are cashing in for life-changing wealth. And today, we're diving deep into the story of how a tiny minting mistake turned this 1995 D Washington quarter into a national treasure. Let's rewind to 1995. The Denver Mint was producing millions of Washington quarters. Each coin was meant to be identical, crisp, perfect, flawless. But somewhere in that vast production line, a handful of coins came out different. They carried a subtle yet stunning error, an anomaly so rare that even seasoned numismatists couldn't believe their eyes. This was no ordinary error. Some of these 1995 D quarters were struck on the wrong planchets. Others had dramatic double dies or misalignments that gave them a ghostly second image of George Washington's face. These imperfections, these tiny flaws, turned what should have been a 25-cent coin into a $765,000 masterpiece. And here's the twist. Many of these valuable coins were never pulled from circulation. They slipped into pockets, piggy banks, and coffee shop cash drawers. Some might still be hiding in your own home right now. Exciting, isn't it? But also a little terrifying. Because while others are cashing out, your fortune might still be lying unnoticed in a drawer, gathering dust instead of dollars. Now, before you start shaking every coin jar in your house, please don't break your piggy bank just yet. Unless, of course, it's smiling at you. Then it probably deserves it. So how does a coin like this reach a staggering value of $765,000? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and a touch of history. Collectors are hungry, no starving, for these rare U.S. Mint anomalies. They represent a piece of human error frozen in metal, a time capsule of imperfection that outshines perfection itself. The 1995 D quarter's value isn't just about silver or metal, it's about story. Every nick, every doubling of Washington's portrait, every misaligned strike whispers of a secret that only a trained eye can catch. And right now, the coin market is hotter than ever. Wealthy collectors, hedge fund investors, and luxury asset brokers are competing fiercely to own a piece of American minting history. This is not just a coin, it's a status symbol. This proof that fortune often hides in plain sight. But here's what's even more fascinating. Experts believe there are still undiscovered 1995 D error quarters out there. And with the rising wave of rare coin auctions in 2025, their market value could soar beyond $1 million. Could one of those coins be sitting in your change right now? Imagine the moment. You're at your desk, magnifying glass in hand. You tilt a 1995 D quarter under the light and notice something off. A double date, a ghostly outline. Your heart skips a beat. You do some research, reach out to a certified grader, and then confirmation. You're holding a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not fantasy. That's happening right now for those who take the time to look. The real question is, are you going to be the next one? Because right now, there's a gold rush happening. Not in the mountains, but in the spare change you overlook every day. Collectors are scanning eBay, coin shows, and estate sales like treasure hunters. And with each discovery, the remaining coins become even rarer, and even more valuable. So, maybe next time you pay for your morning coffee, don't hand over that 1995 quarter too quickly. Who knows, you might just be tipping your barista with a luxury car. The story of the 1995 D Washington quarter isn't just about a coin. It's about possibility. It's a reminder that wealth often hides in the ordinary, that opportunity knocks softly, and only those who listen, who look closer, will answer. This is your moment to uncover what others overlook. So go through that old change jar, open that drawer, check your collections. Because the next $765,000 quarter might already be in your hands, waiting for you to recognize it. And if you think the 1995 D-quarter story was wild, wait until you hear about the nickel that sold for nearly $1 million because of one microscopic mistake. But that, my friend, is a story for our next video, so stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, in the world of rare coins, every penny counts, and every quarter could be your ticket to a wealthy life. Imagine finding a single quarter, yes, a simple 25-cent coin, that could change your entire financial future. Now, what if I told you that somewhere in your home, in an old drawer or maybe in a forgotten coin jar, there could be a 1998 P Mint Mark Washington quarter worth over $765,000 today? You might think that's impossible, but the truth is, this one coin has become one of the most talked about treasures in American coin history. And the story behind it? It's as fascinating as the fortune it carries. But before we dive deeper, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered if your pocket change could be your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle? Because by the end of this video, you'll not only know how to spot this rare 1998 P Washington quarter, but you'll also understand why collectors are going absolutely wild for it, and why time might be running out to get your hands on one. It all started with a routine discovery. A sharp-eyed collector examining a handful of quarters noticed something odd. A tiny imperfection, a strange doubling on the design, and an unusual shimmer under light. What seemed like a common 1998 P quarter suddenly became a rare specimen, a mint error that would go on to capture the attention of experts across the country. Now, you might be wondering what makes this error so special. Well, this isn't your average minting flaw. This particular quarter was struck with unusual die misalignment, creating a design distortion that made the details of George Washington's face and the eagle's wings appear slightly off-centered, yet oddly crisp. The perfection of the imperfection. That's what collectors crave. And that's exactly why this quarter, once worth 25 cents, now commands a jaw-dropping $765,000 in the collector's market. Crazy, right? A single coin that could buy you a luxury car, pay off your mortgage, or even fund your dream retirement. And here's the kicker. Many people have won and don't even know it.as news spread of this 1998 P Mint Mark error quarter. Demand exploded. Major auction houses began featuring it as a centerpiece, and private collectors were willing to pay premium prices to secure it. Suddenly, a coin once overlooked became a symbol of luck, wealth, and discovery. And let's be honest, who doesn't love the idea of turning something ordinary into something extraordinary? The US Mint has confirmed that mint errors like this are 1 in a million occurrences. But that's exactly why they're so valuable. They capture a moment in minting history that can never be repeated. Each one tells a story of rarity, of timing, and of the meticulous eye that spotted it first. If you've ever dismissed your spare change, maybe it's time to look again. Because the next 1998 P quarter you hold could be the one that transforms your financial destiny. Now, don't go dumping your wallet yet. We'll get to how to spot the real deal in just a moment. But before that, let's talk about why this moment matters more than ever. We live in an age where wealth doesn't always come from hard labor. It comes from opportunity, the kind that hides in plain sight. Rare coins like the 1998 P Washington quarter are proof that history still holds hidden treasures for those who pay attention. Every day, thousands of coins pass through hands unnoticed, and every day, opportunities are lost. The fear of missing out? It's real, because once these coins are found and locked away in private collections, their market value skyrockets even higher. Imagine checking your coins a year from now only to realize you had one and missed your chance to sell when the value was soaring. That's the fear that fuels the urgency. Collectors are actively hunting for these coins right now, and prices have risen by over 400% in just the past few years. That's not hype, that's demand. So if you've ever thought, I'll check later, consider this your wake-up call. Later might be too late. Now, here's where it gets exciting, identifying the 1998 P Mint Mark quarter that's worth 6 figures. The most valuable versions display a dramatic die error, visible under a magnifying glass. Look for doubled letters on Liberty, or a subtle misalignment on Washington's jawline. The P Mint Mark, located right next to the ribbon on Washington's ponytail, should appear slightly offset or raised unusually. That's your clue. Once confirmed, experts recommend getting your coin authenticated by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC. With certification, your coin could instantly jump from pocket change to an asset worth hundreds of thousands. And here's the best part. Because of its scarcity, this coin's value continues to rise. Investors and wealthy collectors are treating rare coin acquisitions as safe havens, like gold or real estate. So whether you're looking to sell and enjoy your fortune now, or hold it as a long-term investment, the 1998 P Washington quarter stands as a golden, or should we say silver, opportunity. Let's be real. Not everyone gets a second chance at finding something life-changing. But right now, you do. Somewhere in America, someone is about to pull a 1998 P quarter from a dusty coin jar and unknowingly holds $765,000 in their hand. The question is, will it be you? Go check your coins today. Don't wait for luck. Create it. Because in this world, the difference between an ordinary life and an extraordinary one could be just 25 cents away. And who knows, the next big discovery in numismatics might just be sitting in your palm right now if you're serious about wealth, history, and opportunity. Subscribe to the channel because we uncover stories like this every week. Coins that make millionaires. Moments that change lives. And before you go, there's another Washington quarter even rarer than the 1998 P that recently broke the $1 million mark at auction. Want to know which one it is? Stay tuned because in the next video, I'll reveal the coin that made history and how you might already own one.